Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is JK. I'm an artist and a 2D animator from the Philippines. And this is a crash course in 2D animation. So I'm gonna talk about how animation works and then the 6 big ideas in animation that you need to understand when you're just starting out in animation. So the first one is how animation works. So one great example of animation is a flipbook. So basically you will start drawing the first page and then change the drawing slightly on the next page and to the next page to the next page, so on and so forth. And then when you flip through all your pages, you will start seeing an illusion of movement, or what we call animation. So that's it. That's how animation works. Now, instead of using a flip book, we will now use a software. Now, any software that is an animation software. So instead of drawing on top of paper, now we will draw on top of a frame. So as you can see right here at the bottom, this is a frame 0, 1, 2, 3, and we can add more to it. Imagine this is a flip book. So this is a first page, second page, this next one, and the next one, the next one. Now let's try to make a circle onto the next one, but slightly different. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn on the onion skinning. So onion skinning is a tool that will allow you to see the previous frame. Right here, it is green, but when we draw on this current frame, we draw a circle on this current frame, it would be black. So that is the indication that this is the current frame. So let's try to align this one, and then just this a little bit, just a little bit. So when we play it back, we could now start seeing a movement. So this is just basically same as on a flip book, but instead we are on a digital medium. Let's try to draw couple more circles so that we could see the ball here to here. So let's try that. As you can now see, we already made 24 drawings. So this is basically 1 second. Sure, you could start making animation. You could start animating right away. But is there any way that we could make it a lot better? That's when the 6 big ideas in animation comes in. It will help us make better animation, probably great animations. So let's start off with speed. We have an animation right here. So at the bottom, this is a drawing that is closer to each other. On the top one is the frame or drawings that is far apart from each other. So let's try to figure it out. As you can see, the top ball is a lot faster compared to the bottom ball. So the reason for that is, I'm gonna explain it to you by turning on the onion skinning. So as you can see, the gap between the drawing from each other. So at the bottom ball, you could really see that the frames or the drawing is a lot closer together, while the top ball is a lot far or apart from each other. So basically, the closer the drawing, the slower the animation. The farther the drawing, the faster the animation. So let's move on to the next one, which is spacing and acceleration. Now, let's go back to this ball animation that we made. Now, if I'm gonna ask you to describe this animation, this ball animation, you will probably say it's consistent or simple or maybe unnatural. Now, how could we make this ball a lot more natural or a lot more convincing? We could do that by adding the second big idea in animation, which is the spacing and acceleration, or sometimes they call it easing, or simply just speeding up and slowing down. So how could we do that? We're gonna do that by, maybe we could add guides to it. So let's add another layer and then stretch it out. Let's put it at the bottom. Alright, so let's add some guides to it. The ball is from here, and then it would end up here. Alright, I'm gonna divide it here, here, and divide it here, 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 here. So in the middle, it would move faster. So I'm gonna remove this frame here and also here. So let's do that. Alright. So there we go. And easing onto the animation. So it's going slow in here and then fast in the middle, then slow again. So it's a lot more, I think, a lot more natural, I would say, compared to the other one. Let me just show you the first one. So yeah, that's the first that we made, and then when we add easing to it, it's something like this. Okay, so but what if I want to make this ball bouncy? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make another drawing here. So what we're gonna do is to make this ball bouncy or add character to it. The ball will move slower this part because there's more frames in it, more drawings in this part right here. So let's remove this one. So more drawings in here. Gonna move slower in this part right here, and then it's gonna boom faster. So what we could do to add more, to make it more bouncy, is to redesign the shape, which is our third big idea in animation, which is that squash and stretch. Squash and stretch is the third big important thing in animation that I want to share with you. So as you could already see here, we already applied some squash and stretch in here. So let's try to make another one for you to understand a little bit more. Okay, so let's take a look at this ball that we made. Let's play it one more time. So it looked like something like this. What will happen if we add some squash and stretch to it? The first thing we're gonna do is to find the frame in between, or the frame that moves a lot faster. In this case, this frame right here. So what we're gonna do is stretch it sideward like that, and then put it a little bit like that to maintain the volume of the circle, because we don't want to do this like that because that doesn't make any sense at all. And now we already added some squash and stretch on this animation. To add it, to make it a little more convincing, we will adjust this 2 frames on the side of this frame. So what we're gonna do is move to this one, and then we just move the anchor point here, and then drag this right here, and then move it like this also to the other one. All right, so what will happen is it would make the squash and stretch more convincing. Turn around on your skinning, and it would look something like this. So that's the third one, squash and stretch. Okay, now before we move on to the next big idea for animation, I just want to clarify this thing. You don't have to use squash and stretch all the time. You only need to use it depending on the material or the object that you're animating. So in this case, you could see on the right side, it's a red bouncing ball. So you could really see that it applies squash and stretch because the ball is bouncy, stretchy, and maybe soft. On the other side, we could see a concrete block, which is rigid, hard, and heavy. So the animation is quite so the animation doesn't include squash and stretch into the concrete block because it doesn't make any sense if we add some squash and stretch in it. But yes, there are some times that we add some squash and stretch into an hard or rigid object, but most of the time we don't apply it to them. So I just want to address that before we move on to the next big idea in animation for beginners, which is anticipation. So we already covered 3 big ideas in an animation. The first one is speed, the second one is spacing and acceleration, the third one is squash and stretch. And now let's move on to the fourth one, which is anticipation. Anticipation builds up energy, or something like preparation. It also gives the audience an idea that there's something's going to happen or something's gonna happen. Here are some examples of anticipation in an animation. The fifth one is overshoot. So overshoot is kind of mirrored to anticipation. It is basically a bouncing back animation or bounce back animation. So it adds weight to an animation. So here are some example of an animation that has an overshoot. Let's move on to the last one, which is arcs. Arcs add flows to the motion, or it makes the movement smooth and pleasing. That's number 6. So here's the recap of 6 big ideas in animation for beginners that you need to understand if you're just starting out in animation. So the first one is speed, second one is spacing and acceleration, the third one is squash and stretch, fourth is anticipation, fifth is overshoot, and the sixth one is arcs. So that's it. That's the 6 big ideas in animation that you have to understand if you're just starting out in animation. So I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Hope it helps you out, and if it do, smash that like button down below because it helps my channel a lot. And also please let me know in the comment section below what you think about this video, because I'm planning to make more videos something like this. And also, if you haven't subscribed yet, consider subscribing. And see you on my next video. Bye for now. Peace. It's Jake Art. I'm out.